You couldn't pay me to go out there. Not even $1 million. I wouldn't last. This is for the professionals, not like me. The water's trying to take me in. I'm not going any closer than this. Down the road from Eden is Pambula Beach, and this is a surf beach. I cannot explain to you how big these waves are and how many great young surfers there are here in Australia. I'll turn around and see if I can catch a glimpse of some of these surfers out here. The water is cold, the waves are big, and there's more people out here on this beach than there is at Pinnacle Beach, Lakes Entrance, and a few of the other places we've stopped at. The waves are roaring here today. If you quite enjoy going for a surf, or you enjoy watching people surfing, Pambula Beach, I don't think you can go wrong here, because this place has got it all. It's also clean as well, and there's probably not too many places to sit and watch apart from a bench or two, but that's all right because you'll get these great ocean views. A few kilometers down the road is the Pambula River Mouth. This is a lot more calm and more suited for families and not so much the surfers, because there's sand here and shallow waters. There's also sand on the other side, but it's very choppy and the water keeps coming over the sand, so you can't really lay down. Here you can. This is the river mouth. I see a lot of kayaking, boarding, little kids playing in the sand. It's more so the family environment here, but I'd say there's a lot of currents and rips that could probably come into this area, so you've got to be careful. There's a few signs at the front as well. Behind me there's a few older shacks. They seem to look like barns or something, maybe surf barns where people used to put their little boards and camping gear and so forth, but there's a sign up there that says private property, so I don't want to go in there and create an issue. But anyway, this is the river mouth, probably one of the cleanest places in the area. According to the New South Wales government, they said the water quality was pretty clean here at this time of the year. If you want to come and paddle in the water a little bit, I'd say this is probably a lot safer, and it opens up to the open seas just over there, and that's the river mouth right ahead of us, so the waves don't actually come in all the way. Very nice though, beautiful part of the world. I'm guessing at low tide you can probably walk down there and do a little bit of hiking, but the water is coming through now. Whoop, I've got my shoes on so I don't want to get wet. So you probably have to come here at low tide if you want to do some hiking. We're so blessed to have so many beautiful places in Australia. This is just an example of the beauty you'll come across when you head up the Sapphire Coast here in southern New South Wales. You can do a bit of fishing up here as well, and I'm guessing by the looks of how nice and clean this water is, you'll be able to catch some good fish. So I'll put the board up here as well so you can see the types of fish that you can catch up here and the size limits set by the local government. You can do anything up here, all types of sports including fishing. Pambula, the place to be. If you want to understand Australia, this is it. This image right behind me, that's Australia in one video, in one scene. That's Australia in one image. Two people lying on the sand, looking out at the water. Not doing much. I've come across the Short Point Beach here in Merimbula. This sits on the northern headland of Merimbula and forms part of the Sapphire Coast. This is also a strong surf beach here on the Sapphire Coast, and I don't recommend swimming out here. You need to be a professional to go out into these waters, and there's a bit of a surfing competition going on, but I'm not taking anything away from this beach because the sights and sounds is second to none. Golden sands once again, as you can see behind me, and beautiful clean waters. Makes it an ideal place to check out when you come to Merimbula. About a 5-minute drive up the hill, and then you'll find this beach right here. If you look out in the distance as well, dolphins are known to come pretty close by to this coastline. Whales out in the distance, and it's also part of the Biwa National Park, formerly the Pambula National Park. Look, this beach I think is unpatrolled and usually quiet, making it great for sunset, sunrise, and photography, of course. Maybe even drone footage. I'd say you get some amazing views out here because you've got a great contrast between the blue waters and the yellow, orangey dunes. And not only that, then there's the rocks that I'm standing on here. They're also varying in different colors. Very nice. Look, I'd say this whole Sapphire Coast really is amazing. Probably one of the best coastlines I've ever visited. I've been to Eden and Merimbula before, but I've never taken the time to explore each and individual beach. And you know what? It's worth every second of it. And I never thought I'd see the scenery that I'm seeing here today. This place is absolutely amazing. Fresh air, good people. You can tell that the tourist season has started. You've got a lot of international people here, people who love to explore because they're hiring a lot of camper vans. They're really doing the whole coastline, maybe from Sydney all the way down to Melbourne. There's a lot of cars with a number of different number plates from both New South Wales and Victoria. What can I say? If you got the time, do this road trip. You're not going to be disappointed. And that's the Hausmeister promise. You know, a lot of people tend to go overseas and look for these kind of sights and sounds that we have in Australia. They go looking for these places overseas in Asia or maybe Europe or the Americas, but Australia really does have a lot to offer. Re-exploring and rediscovering Australia truly is not too hard. You do need a van or a reliable car, maybe an RV or a big patrol type of car that will allow you to travel in style and class and comfort while you explore Australia's rugged coastline. I must admit, I haven't driven up here for a long time, and I haven't had any issues at all going through each of the towns, starting off in Phillip Island, coming down through Inverloch, through Fish Creek, down through Lakes Entrance, up through Sale, and some of the other towns along the way. Every few hours, maybe 1.5 hours, there's another stop for you to see another town. But if you really want to stop and see all the smaller towns in between, go for it. You know, every half an hour there could be a new town, even maybe 20 minutes. But if you want to see some of the bigger townships, every hour and a half, maybe 2 hours is probably worth stopping and maybe spending an hour or two looking around, checking out the bakeries that exist in each of the towns. They've all got their specialties, whether it's meat pies, vanilla slices, you name it, it's all there. And fruit as well. Mango season at the moment. I'm loving every second of this trip because I am eating mangoes everywhere I go, and they're on special as well. So there you go right there. So it's not only the destination when you're traveling here in the Victoria, New South Wales region, it's also the stops along the way and what you're doing and how you're getting involved in the local towns. And it's also good to stop, maybe stay the night in these local towns, eat something and support the locals here as well, because most of these people are engaging in seasonal businesses, and that means summertime is when they make their money. Possibly the rest of the year, there might not be as many people here. Anyway, I'm going to go and enjoy the beach. I'm going to dip my feet in the water, but I'm not going to get too close on this instance because it does look a little bit rowdy out there and the waves are pretty big. No, I am not on another planet. I am still on the face of the earth, and here I am in Tura Beach, sitting on the Davodian rocks, which are from the Davodian period, from about 420 million years ago. A time when the fish species flourished across the world, and these rocks have formed from ancient seabeds and river deposits and have hardened over time. They are hard like rock. Don't mind the pun. Looking behind me, although it's a bit windy, you might be finding it a bit hard to hear what I'm saying, so I'll come a little bit closer to the screen. This part does look like a different planet. These rocks are all along the shoreline here and are bright red. So red that they stand out like Ayers Rock. And at the moment, as the sun starts to set in this part of the world, they turn maroon, and they're very maroony in color. There's also a lot of rock pool formations in the area, bits and pieces of moss. This is an amazing area here in Tura Beach, Merimbula. Another place that you need to add to your bucket list to ensure that you get the sights, sounds, and most importantly, the colors. The colors are amazing. You need to see these colors and touch these stones. These stones are full of positive energy from millions of years ago, and I am here to extract all that positivity into my blood. It's like they laid down slabs of concrete and colored them red just so people can sit here and have a look at the beach. Beautiful views. Have a look out there. Open seas as far as the eye can see. I'm loving this. Some of this stuff really does look like toxic sludge, but it's not. It's either moss or seaweed that comes off out of the water and starts growing. Very moss-like. I'd say it's moss. So right here, we have a borderline where the Davodian rock, which is red or maroon in color, depending on what time of the day you look at it, turns into black, smooth rock, as opposed to red and rugged. Something has happened here over the years, geologically, that has caused this division of the rock and has caused it to lose color right here. Maybe it's from a different period. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into it. So red and rugged, black and smooth. So apparently these black rocks at Tura Beach are from volcanic activity, and they are from a different period as opposed to the Davodian rocks. So these black rocks are smooth, shiny, and standing here, there's no wind. They've blocked out all of the wind and the water's right there. But if I take 5 or 10 steps back, you'll hear a lot of wind. So over many years, millions of years shall we add, these rocks have become smooth and wind blockers, I'd guess. The water's just there. If a big wave comes crushing through, I'll be in trouble. Bring your walking shoes, because there is a bit of walking to do through some light scrub, shall we say, and semi-cleared pathway. Hi there. So you'll need to assess your fitness and your desire to hike in the heat and among some wildlife which could possibly include snakes. Although I haven't seen any yet, but it's definitely worth the walk to see the views. There's a lot of scrubland, particularly near the path, and I'm guessing they leave that there on purpose for the animals, for wombats, birds and other types of creatures, so they can come in and nest in there or create their homes. If they're a wombat, they can burrow amongst the scrub. But yeah, it's quite interesting that there's a lot of scrubland in certain areas, and my guess would be it is for the animals to create a habitat for them so they can enjoy. And I'm guessing some animals might nibble or eat some of that scrubland, but it looks pretty dry, so I'm not too sure.